All right, we are now recording. Okay. All right, everybody, welcome. It's great to be with you as always. And, somebody is talking in the background. If they can mute themselves, please. Anyhow, it's great to be here. I think we had a special call tonight. I'm going to turn over in a second to a really good friend of mine, a person I've known now for just about 30 years. And that's Michelle Nesbitt. Michelle has been a Relive superstar for a very long time. Michelle got in this business when she was a very young lady and became the youngest, I think, Michelle, if I'm not mistaken, the youngest presidential directory in company history.
Mm-hmm.
And she's held that record now for 30 years. And then that's pretty remarkable. She's got a medical background also. And she's a great person. We've been to a ton of conferences together. She's a fun person always to be around. And so, Michelle, what we'd like you to do, if you don't mind, is kind of share your story, you know, and tell us how you got to where you are. And then you will introduce our second special guest. So, Michelle, it's all yours.
Oh, thank you, Jo. And I tell you what, we have had so much fun at those conferences. I tell you, I miss them, and I'll be glad when we can get back. But for you guys that are new tonight, my name is Michelle Nesbitt from Atlanta, Georgia. And just a little bit about my venture. I have been involved in Relive for 30 years. My background was nursing. At 23 years old, honestly, the best way I can put this, I was overworked, underpaid, and I was broke all the time. I'd never seen my family. I worked 70, 80 hours a week. And at 23, I thought, you know what? There's got to be a better way that I can make a living and still help people. A friend of mine came to me, introduced me to the idea of franchising. Of course, I kind of laughed and said, well, how do you do that when you're broke? And he said, well, you know, we're just going to look, and we're going to look at home-based businesses. And you know what, guys, I didn't know much about a home-based business at the time, but he came back to me with Relive. And I tell you what, I was skeptical, but I started the products. About the fourth day, I called the person back that put me on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is in this stuff? I have energy. And that was really what I struggled with. I struggled with waking up tired, going to bed tired. I was tired during the day. And, you know, I just had this even keel energy. And you know what? At that point, I had daily headaches. I had migraines. I had allergies. And in 2 months, I was medication free from all of that. I'm 53 years old. I feel like I'm 30. I'm on no medication whatsoever. And I tell you what, guys, I give a lot of that credit to this product. And so from there, I put my parents on it, and they were in their 60s, and they had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. They just had so many issues. And you know what? Within 2 weeks, they felt better. But within 2 months, the doctor I was working for called me in his office, and he goes, Michelle, I just did a blood profile panel on your parents. And between the two of them, their cholesterol dropped over 400 points. And my mouth hit the floor. I was like, oh my goodness. And he goes, your dad's blood pressure, even with 2 medications, it's always been 160 over 90. Now it's 120 over 80. Your mama's diabetic numbers are normal for the first time in 1.5 years. And he said, I think I'm gonna start taking them off some of this medication. And I tell you what, guys, I got excited. I mean, I got my parents' health back. They got their health back. I got my mom and dad back. And I tell you what, at that point, I thought, you know what? If I could just make a little extra money and help a lot of people with this, I would be happy. So the first month I did it part-time. I worked with a team of support that was amazing, and made $1,500. And that was working at 3 hours a week. That's all I had. And I hit that top profit margin, moving $5,000 worth of products. And I tell you what, guys, I watch people come back and just say, thank you, Michelle, for putting me on this. It's changed my life. And it was just all the way from all kinds of issues that people were having. And so, you know what, that second month I stepped out on faith. I thought, if this doesn't work, I can always go back to nursing. And the first year, guys, I went full time. First year, I made $60,000. I had never seen that kind of money. It took 2 years, like Jim said, to get to a level called presidential director. By the time I was 25 years old, making a 6-figure year income. And you know what? I sit here tonight. I'm so blessed. I've made millions and millions of dollars. I work by choice at 53. And quite frankly, I've done that. Really, it's probably I was 27, 28. I've been able to have a life. I've been able to, run my business around my kids. I didn't anticipate being being a single mom, but it happened. I got a 16 and 19-year-old. I was able to watch them say first words, take first steps, be the basketball mom, the cheer mom. You know, I was able to really be a huge part of their life. And I've been on 90 all expense paid trips with this company. It's just been amazing. And my 19-year-old daughter joined me. She just won the Hawaii trip last year, and I got confirmation she is taking me with her. But I tell you what, I'm excited. And I'm even more excited for you guys to hear a really good friend of mine tonight. She has honestly become one of my very best friends. We haven't known each other but maybe 3 or 4 months. But she is a nurse practitioner. And I tell you, that excites me, because when you've got people in the medical field recognizing what we have and the clinical studies and everything that's going on with Relive, guys, I tell you what, it is exciting because it's so different than anything else out there. So Melody Pemberton, I'm going to go to Alabama. And Melody, would you come on and share with everyone? I mean, I know that your daughter got amazing results than yourself, but would you just share your story of what you've seen these products do for your family? You may have to turn your camera on.
There we go. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can, but I can't see you. Can you turn on your
Can't see?
camera? I can't see you.
Can anybody else see me? Because it's got
Now I
like,
got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
Melody,
That's
we
good.
can see you.
That's
oh,
good.
okay. I was like, okay, thank you so much. I feel honored to be able to come and share my story. And actually, me and my daughter were talking yesterday, and it's hard to believe, but it's been 1 year since she got this crazy virus and left her with some deficits, central nervous system deficits, and left her with fatigue ringing in her ears, flushing, inability to walk across the floor, heat and cold intolerance, nausea, heart palpitations, landed us in the ER. And being in the medical field for over 30 years, feeling like, you know, you can help take care of everybody else, but not being able to take care of your own daughter, it just it's devastating. And so I began to seek doctors. We went to the University of Alabama in Birmingham. They put her on some medication that the side effects are, you know, worse than the medicine. And so I just began to really pray. And I was like, you know, my daughter felt like, is this going to be the rest of her life, how she's going to feel? And so Michelle just kind of, it just like fell into my lap, and I is so grateful. And I said, well, I'm happy to, you know, try anything. You know, I was skeptical. I'm not going to admit. Did I do my research? Absolutely. I could not find one negative thing. And I was looking, not one negative thing about Relive. And so starting on the product, within 2 weeks, I could see a spark. And the more energy, because my daughter was laying in bed, I was having to help bathe her, everything. And it was just a blessing to begin to see some light, a spark of light come into her, a little bit more energy. Stayed on the product, it's been 6 months now. And fast forward and how we're doing, we're just, so many of the residual side effects have resolved. Is she completely 100%? No, but she is not anywhere where she was. And so that's the testimony that we have, is that we know that this product is such a gem, because it goes to the cellular level. And what Carson has, and what a lot of the patients that I know that have this issue, which is called dysautonomia or POTS syndrome, which affects
Hey,
the central nervous
Melody, hang on 1 minute. Hang on 1 minute. Guys, I need you to mute your phone. I'm getting a lot of background noise, okay? Please mute your phone, okay? I'm sorry, Melody, go ahead.
Oh, that's
What were
okay.
you saying? You were talking
Well,
about POTS.
Yeah, so with any type of really dysautonomia or any type of autoimmune disordered disease you're going to have, it's going to hit the central nervous system, or it's going to hit the, you know, the muscular system. So I love this product because of the fact that it the Lunarich, which is Carson's on, the Lunarich and the shake, the now. It goes to the cellular level. And what she had, and a lot of these patients that have POTS and the dysautonomia umbrella, there's, I mean, a list mile long of central nervous system deficits that happen, is that the cells get damaged. And unless those cells get repaired, the symptoms are going to continue. So what I love about it is that it goes to the cellular level, and I kind of explain it. It's like a jumping cable to a car. I mean, the car's not moving, the car's not going, nothing's happening, nothing's working. You put those cables on, and bam, all of a sudden you got some life back. So that's kind of how I explain it. And that's what it's done for us. To see my daughter stand at the kitchen and bake, which is a passion of hers that she hasn't been able to do in over a year, is just absolutely incredible. And I got to tell you this, I was telling Michelle today, we were talking, it was so funny. I come in and I said, what are you doing? And she had her now her product, and she was baking and making cookies out of it. And I was like, girl. And so she is doing, and she knows, I mean, she's learned to make her shake. She does everything. She's 16 years old. So
Wow.
I'm so proud. But I will tell you, this is a product that everybody needs to have in their household, because this virus, or any virus, will hit your body, and it's going to hit your liver, your GI, anywhere, your heart. I'm telling you. And so COVID hit our house, and I was not happy. It happened December the 20th, and we were down, with the virus in isolation for the 14 days. But however, we weren't down in our body because of the fact that we had been on these products. So this is something that everybody needs to get a hold of and get in their systems, because it will war against the viruses that we have out there. And so I'm a lifer, because I want to share this to everybody that could have potential, autoimmune disorders or anything, any type of illness. And so I jumped in with the business. Michelle said, you need to get in this business. And so I did. I haven't been in long, but I am, I love to share. I love to share it. And if I never make a dime in it, sharing what has happened to my daughter that I know can change other children's life. And that's what I do. I joined a POTS group, and I share, and I got moms. I'm talking to moms, and Michelle helps me. She's absolutely awesome. And to see these children now, it hits anywhere from 9 years old up to 25 years old. And so, we got to help people. So thank you.
Wow.
I appreciate it. Let me share. Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. And you know what, Melody, talk to me a minute, because, one of the things that this virus really does, it gets in there and it attacks the immune system. And if you don't have no immune system,
yeah,
there's issues. And I know there's many, many strands of it.
Right.
But I also know there's a peptide that's in that Lineage X that, with the now and the clinical studies, it builds the immune system. But why is it important for us to build that immune system? Obviously, yes, because of COVID, but you coming from the industry that you come from, building that immune system, getting it up, because again, if you don't have it, it's not a good thing. And, they're saying, take vitamin D, zinc, and all these things, which you and I both know it's all in that product. So talk to me just a minute. I know that you've worked with a lot of girls at the Home of Grace where you work. And a lot of those girls, their immune systems were low, and they've caught the virus. So tell me a little bit from a medical standpoint, why the nutrition is really that important. I mean, we don't get what we need in our food, obviously.
We don't. Everybody's in a hurry. They're eating, not like they should be. And so your body begins to break down. And when it is not fed nutritionally, all the elements and the nutrients and the vitamins that you need, then all it's going to take is one cell just to break down. And then you're going to have a germ get in there, no matter where it is, whether you're touching an object, you're breathing in somewhere, and then it's going to get into your body, and then you're going to be exposed, and then your body has to fight. And that's the biggest thing, I think, that if I could tell anybody, is that your body has got to be able to war against all these viruses. They're not going away. So I just want to say, these viruses are not going away. I keep hearing, at work, well, when's it going to be over? I said, what do you mean? This virus? I said, it's never going to be over. I mean, viruses are always they're replicating, they're just they're mutating, they're doing all the things that viruses do. However, what can we do? Because we have to be prepared. We have to fight against the things that are out there. Am I saying that COVID's going to be, I'm not saying COVID, I'm saying that there's tons of different viruses. So we have to be prepared and we have to be able to fight. We've got the flu, we're in flu season. So all those things, we have to have our body ready to fight against the things out there. That's one of the things that I was sharing with Michelle that I'm going to add to our family is the defense product, because I think it's absolutely incredible that we have a product here that we can have in our bodies to fight out these viruses and everything that's out there to make we can be stronger.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what, guys, she said in my eyes, an incredible word she used was the defense product. And you know what, I just got a real quick story. It will be soon 11 months now since this virus came out. I mean, I think it came out last February. It started doing that. And then in March, it kicked in.
That's right.
So really in 11 months, myself, Chandler, and McCrae, we haven't had the virus, and we have been exposed 5 times, literally, where people have walked in our home and 2 days later they're calling me back going, hey, I've got COVID. And I mean, I'm like, oh my goodness. But you know what? We've been on that defense. We take 2 to 3 a day. We take our Linarich X capsules. We don't do 1 or 2. We do 5 to 6, and we take our shakes. And I tell you what, being exposed that many times, I really do believe that defense product with that mushroom in there and dramatically building that immune system up tremendously. I think that is a key product, because I tell you what, again, we're almost at 1 year where none of us have had it. And we've also had the antibody test. They say you can carry this and not know it. So we've all 3 had the antibody test, negative. So I do think what you said was very powerful as far as, the defense product. I think that is a huge key to really and truly what we've got going on. But Melody, thank you so much. And Jim, you may have a question or 2 for Melody, or I'm going to turn it kind of back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Melody. Hey, real quick, the syndrome that your daughter had, some of the people were not on yet. What was it called?
It's POTS dysautonomia, and it's dysautonomia falls into like an autoimmune disorder. It's POTS stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Okay,
So they say
it affects
POTS for short.
It affects your heart?
Yes, sir. It affects when you stand up, feeling dizzy, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes down, and you feel like you're just ready, you're ready to pass out.
How long was she dealing with that?
This February has been a year.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this month going into what we're going into, she's been on the product for 7 months. So we're very,
okay. And so she's seen progress, obviously, all the way along.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my daughter today, we walked, I can't tell you how far we walked, but definitely probably 2,000 feet, because we walked 1,000 feet and then we turned around, we came back and look, she couldn't really take 10 steps across the floor.
Really?
So it's a blessing. So I'm very, very, very thankful.
That's incredible. Now, you mentioned COVID. Now, you
Yes,
dealt
sir.
personally with COVID, and I think you
Yes.
said your kids had it also. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing, my symptoms were unfortunately worse. I would take that any day than to have my children have it. It was like a cold to them. So I was glad to get the worst part of it. But being on the product and everything like that shortened our time and symptoms. So I was very thankful about that. So yes, sir. It could have been harder. I know. I firmly believe if we had been on the product, it could have been much worse. So I'm thankful I don't have any underlying comorbidities or any bad health. I'm in good health. I'm thankful for that. And but definitely having the products definitely go into that cellular level and really switching on that DNA, making it work harder for you, because you got your cells, and if the cells sit there and they don't they're not vibrant and they're not, you know, alive and working for you, you're going to see the effects of that. So getting that product, the LunaRich X, out to that cellular level and making it work for you is what it's all about.
That's great. Yeah, I remember from way back early on, and I know Michelle and Debbie certainly will remember this, but you know, when I first heard about this product and learned more about what Dr. Calagris had done, you know, he put together those 72 ingredients. He tried to figure out what a human cell needed every day. And he thought, you know, his first goal was to strengthen his immune system, his own immune system. And as you said, I mean, that's key, you know, that strong immune system. I don't know about the other people on this call, and I don't know when you had, you know, your COVID, but and all the people I know in Relive, and I know a lot of people in Relive, I haven't really, you know, you're the first one that I've heard of that actually had COVID, which is rather remarkable. You're muted.
Well, I gotta see. I'm so sorry. Yes, or wow. That is interesting. And yes, and I'm glad to be able to share that with you. I tell you what, yeah, I had a day or two that I thought, my goodness, I hope this don't continue. But when I talked to Michelle, she said, "Double up, girl." I was like, "Yes, I sure will." You know, so very thankful.
Well, you know, I think it's something. If you take a look at these products, and a lot of times that some of us, you know, have been around for a long time, maybe we take the products now a little bit for granted. But every once in a while, you have to remind yourself of what you have your hands around here, because, you know, not only do we have a phenomenal product, and I believe the best nutrition products in the world. You know, as long as I've been around, I've never seen another product do for people what this product seems to be able to do. And because of it, because these products work so well, there's just that phenomenal business opportunity that we all should be taking advantage of. I mean, this company addresses the two most important things in our life. If you think about it, other than our families, it's our health and our wealth. I mean, we need money. We have to pay the bills. And especially right now, coming out of this pandemic, it's, you know, more and more people are realizing they need that second stream of income and how important it is. But what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, we've got a few extra minutes here, is to maybe open it up to a few questions, if you wouldn't mind taking a few, Melody. And
Sure.
Guys, if you want to, just, you know, unmute yourself and try to keep it, you know, if you say, hey, what should I take for migraine headaches? I'm not talking about those type of questions, you know, just maybe more general. If you have a question for Melody, is that okay, Melody?
Absolutely, yes, sir. Thank you.
Jim, I have a question. You were talking about the LunaRich X, and you know, we know that's a phenomenal product because it does work at the cellular level. Is that something that you would recommend that everybody be on besides the defense as well as the basics?
Did you hear that, Melody?
Okay. Oh, you are asking me that, or Mr. Jim?
I was
No,
asking you that, Melody. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Yes, personally, yes. That's because I'm going to add the defense. I was talking to Michelle about that this week. I'm adding the defense to our family regimen, but absolutely. I mean, the LunaRich X, absolutely. I believe the effectiveness of what Carson has experienced in getting better is because of the LunaRich X. Yes.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, a lot of us that have been to conferences, you know, have heard, you know, them explain in great detail the power of the LunaRich X, but there's new people on here tonight and they might not even know what the LunaRich X is. So Michelle, could you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, I take my shakes every day. I take my defense, but that LunaRich X, guys, I tell you, if you do not have that in your regimen, you need it. One of the biggest things about that LunaRich X is there's a peptide in it that's a natural anti-inflammatory. It works on joints. There is a peptide in it that builds that immune system. So one of the things I think a lot of times when the virus, whether it's COVID or whatever virus, when a virus hits your body, inflammation builds up. So with that Lunarich X, it gets in there and it pretty much just works on that inflammation. With it going to the DNA, you know, getting in there to that genetic level, and this, guys, is really why this is different than anything else out there. When you take that Now Shake and that Lunarich X, that's where the clinical studies have been done. And, you know, the neat thing is the studies, $200 million of clinical human trial studies. And it's been done at Harvard University, Duke University, Johns Hopkins, University of Texas, University of Illinois. So, you know, it's not like you got a little bit of studies, you got a lot of studies. And, you know, so many of the studies, not just the joint pain, but, you know, to me, it ups my energy. It enhances that now, literally. Now, this is my opinion, 75%. So I tell you, the Lunarich X is an amazing product with it building your immune system, but it also works with, you know, the studies have been done with diabetes, blood cholesterol, high blood pressure. So, and there have been many studies with cancer. So, you know, to have those studies and Debbie, you and I both know we didn't have that 30 years ago. So, you know, to have that, and, you know, the bottle says take 1 to 5 a day, guys. I'm gonna be honest, 1 to 2 is a joke. Okay. Dr. Galvez, who founded that ingredient inside the seed of a soybean. Okay. And that was the Lunasyn, and it's been around for 30 years. We just started marketing it about 9 years ago. You know, the neat thing about that is you know, everybody talks about genetic testing. You know, if Uncle Sam over here has high blood pressure, more than likely, if you're Uncle Sam's, you know, nephew or whatever, the chances is pretty high with genetics. And with this getting in there and turning those bad genes off and switching them good genes on, I tell you what, guys, it's a win-win situation. So I tell you, the Now or the Classic, the Lunarich X, the Defense, I really think is a huge part. But that Lunarich X, guys, I love it. I mean, I tell you, before Lunarich X came out, I was starting to have a little bit of joint pain. I would get to the point where I couldn't close my hands. My left knee was hurting. No injuries, never been an athlete like that. But my left knee was killing me. And I tell you what, when that Lunarich X came out, I mean, I was taking 4 to 5 a day. That's what I could. In fact, I could take about 5 to 8 a day. There's no toxicity limit to it. In fact, Chandler was 12, McRae was 9 when it came out. They've been on it from day one. And this is the key, guys. My kids have never had flu, strep, or viruses. Nothing. I mean, we've done well checks. McRae broke his hand about 4 months ago with basketball. But you talk about building a solid immune system, Debbie, boy, that's the ticket right there. So yes, the Lunarich X, I love that product.
Now, Jim, I wanted to go to you because you had remarkable results with the Lunarich X in lowering your cholesterol. And that's one of its claims to fame, if you will. Why don't you share your story?
Well, it's wasn't a happy time in my life when this happened, but you know, I had genetically high cholesterol, and that's a very big possibility. It happens. It just ran in my family, just like if we all search, you know, cancer runs in my family. I mean, terms like that. And high cholesterol just had run in my family. My father died of a massive heart attack years ago, and I'm sure he had clogged arteries. And when I got on the Relive products, and I was not overweight, and you know, I tried to watch what I ate, but my cholesterol ran about 300. Ooh. And I could not take statin drugs, didn't like them, didn't like the way they made me feel. And so, you know, I just worked out more, took more Relive, and I got it down to 240. But apparently I had done some damage because in 2009, had started to get some pressure in my chest after working out one day. Next morning it was still there. So I called my doctor. He said, go to the emergency room, which I did. And, you know, it's amazing as always, you get your blood tested with Relive and you're right at the top of the charts with everything. And they said, but you know what? You told us about the high cholesterol. We're going to keep you overnight doing an angiogram. They said, you might have a blocked artery. And if you do, we'll put in a stent. So I had you don't argue with them. I had the angiogram the next morning and I, you know, kind of came out from under and the two doctors standing there and they said, well, we didn't put in a stent. And I said, well, I guess that's great. And they said, no, that's not great. They said, you don't have one blocked artery, you have 3. So they said, you're having bypass surgery on Monday. Well, that's the way it was. But anyway, I had the bypass surgery And a couple of days later, the surgeon came in to see me, and he said, "You didn't have 3 blocked arteries." He said, "You had 5 blocked arteries, and you only have 6, I believe." And he said, and some of them were 85 to 90% blocked. He said, "You should have had a heart attack years ago, and I don't know why you didn't." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you why I didn't." So of course I told him about Reliv, and of course he told me about that. Of course he didn't believe me, but you know, that's the way doctors are. And I knew he wouldn't. So, but I really believe this product, I really believe it saved my life. But you know, I had a great recovery, obviously back on the product as quickly as I could after that surgery. And my cholesterol still was hanging around that 240 mark. And then Lunasen came out. And I got on the Lunasen and I got all my blood work done, got a benchmark, and 8 months later got it done again. My cholesterol dropped from 240 to 155, lowest it's ever been in my life. My LDL, the bad cholesterol, that's supposed to be around 130 is the marker. Mine was 177. That time it was 85. Okay, it dropped over 80 points. My blood triglycerides, I mean, I can't remember that number, but they were vastly improved. My good cholesterol went up about 30 points. I mean, it's the best blood work I ever had in my life. And, you know, since I've been on that Lunasen and I take 8 a day, I've stayed in those ranges now for, you know, 11 years. So the product is awesome. It just absolutely is. And, you know, we don't claim to cure anything, and be aware of that. Okay, we have to be very careful. We don't make claims of cures or anything of that nature. We can't. We have to be very careful. But you know, everybody on this call right now on this Zoom session has had results with these products. You know, and it's the results a lot of people get on the products that bring them into the business. And, you know, just like you, Debbie, you had awesome results, you know, that just really pretty much brought you into the business. And they work, you know, and you got your hands around a product like this that is changing lives. And so it tells you what kind of a business opportunity we have. I mean, I've never seen a product like this. Companies would pray to find a product that people get on and stay on for the rest of their lives. You know, you just don't find products like that out there. And we have people on this call now who've been on these products for 30 years plus. And you know, since I started taking these products, the only time I couldn't take them was when I was in the ICU. If I could have taken them in there, I would have. You know, so they're just awesome. So does anybody else have a quick question for Melody before we wrap up?
Just
Jamie,
want to
go
say,
ahead.
Melanie, I think that's awesome that you could help your daughter like that with these products. It is amazing. And congratulations, you share well, and you got a big future of helping a lot of people.
Thank you.
Relive.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. And I feel honored to share.
How old is your daughter?
Andy, go ahead.
How
Sandy,
old
go
is your
ahead.
daughter, Melody?
You had a question.
16.
What was
16.
the age of your daughter?
She's 16.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
16.
Mhm. Sandy also has a medical background. You're a radiology technician, Sandy?
Radiology, diagnostic, and cancer.
Yes, yes. So I know this is in your wheelhouse as well. Sandy, since you're there, why don't you share your
Yeah.
story for some of the new people so they can hear what the products have done for you, because you have a medical background like Michelle and Melody as well.
Well, in my early 20s, I had 4 car accidents. And because of the injuries that I had, I developed severe neck back sciatic pain. One of the injuries had compressed vertebrae. So I got a scoliosis or curvature of the spine that affected my digestive tract as well. And then I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid disorder that was totally missed for many years. So I was dealing with a lot of pain, a lot of fatigue, and going to bed at 8 o'clock. I was a wife and mom of 4 kids, and it was very difficult because I just couldn't be the mom and do what I needed to do. And so I was going to the medical doctors. I went through 5, went to the gastro specialist, PhD nutritionist, naturopathic, and I was spending $300 to $500 a month. and I was on 20 supplements 3 times a day from the PhD nutritionist and the naturopathic. And I wasn't getting the results. So when someone heard me complaining that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, she said, what if my friend has something that can help you? And that was a day that changed my life, June 18th, 1998. And I got on these products, and in 2 months, I did not feel, wow, I feel like a new person. What was happening is I was so run down and so deficient that I had to have 4 shakes a day to be able to build my body up. And I journaled everything. It took me 15 months to restore quality of life. I was 54, I'm now 76. I am healthier today at 76 than I was at 54. And all my family has benefited. My husband, heart patient, went from 12 meds down to 4. My 4-pound preemie grandson got a full scholarship playing football. I mean, I could tell you the stories and helping so many people with different diseases and cancer that I did a medical change. I actually left the medical at 60, and that was 17 years ago, to actually have more time to share Relive with people, to give them the choice to have quality of life and turn things around. So I'm just thrilled to have a quality of life today.
That's awesome. Well, Sandy, share your business story for those people that are hearing this for the first time, because you went from a medical professional to build an incredible business with Relive. So talk a little bit about that for a minute.
Well, when I got on the product, I was like many of others. I had been introduced to other multi-level marketing companies, and one happened to be nutrition with the PhD nutritionist I was working with. And I had tried to share something, but when there's 450 pills and tablets, I didn't know how to help people. That wasn't realistic. And so when I started seeing my results, I didn't say see my results, when I was listening to stories, every Thursday night there was a call, and I was hearing people share what they were having results with, and I was listening to so many people complaining, and I said the same thing to them. What if this works for you? There's a money back guarantee. I told 10 people my first month, and in 6 months I had 96 people using these products. Now, I was not focused on a business. I was working, just wasn't in my mind. I had a fear of failure because I had tried several other companies. And so I wasn't even focused on that being a possibility. However, 6 years of seeing the evidence of what was happening with people I was helping. And I actually had an email come through on a Sunday night that one of our ambassadors, 37 years old, was killed in a head-on collision. And it's like God spoke to my heart and said, life is too short for you not to do in your heart what you want to do. The next day I put in my resignation and I left the medical field, and within 6 months replaced my medical income. And then a year later became part of the leadership of the ambassador program. We've gone to the Philippines because people here in the US had incredible results, and they went over to the Philippines, and they are now one of the top leaders in the Philippines because they survived a rare leukemia with no medical treatment when they were told they needed bone marrow, chemo, and they only had 18 months to live. And that was over 20 years ago. So this product works. It is just something you can't explain to people. They just have to understand. There's nothing like it on the market. There is nothing comparable.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sandy, for sharing.
I think
You're
that
welcome.
proves that, you know, this is a natural product, and nature is a lot smarter than we are. It just is, and that's so. Products are great. We know that. We know they work. And as I just said previously, because these products work so well, they change lives. You know, there's a great business opportunity. Next week we're going to talk more. You know, this tonight has been pretty much health story oriented, and they're great stories. And Melody, thank you again for sharing, and Sandy. Next week, we're going to talk more about the business and how, because of what we have with these products, how we can build lifetime incomes. And there's a lot of people out there right now, you know, who've lost their jobs or in danger of losing their jobs. I mean, just have 11,000 pipeline workers laid off overnight. Their jobs are gone. And so, you know, there's so much going on, so many people losing their jobs. We have something to offer to people. I mean, these products work. You've got product people will get on and stay on the rest of their lives. As I said, because it's a great business opportunity. So we're going to talk about that next week. We may have some surprise guests next week also. Hopefully you'll all be back. Unless anybody else has got anything left to say, I think that kind of ties it up. Again, thanks, Michelle. Great job as always. Always good to see your smiling face. Melody, you were great. And so thanks to everybody.
Thank you very much, you
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
And I just want to say one thing, if you're on this call tonight and you'd like to be a part of next week's call, you have to ask the person that invited you on this call to share the link with you for the Zoom for next week, okay? Wonderful, have a great.
Okay, thank you.
And one
Bye,
last thing,
guys.
Oh, wait a
one
minute.
last thing, make sure you read that invitation. A lot of us got on, even me, and I'm the guy who sent out the invitation, got on a half hour early because we did it at 6 o'clock last week. So it will be back to 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern.
Yep. Wonderful.
Okay.
Guys,
Night, everyone.
All right, everybody.
bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.